Okay, so I decided to do chapter 4, section 7, 8, and 10, just to get all these different kinds of pollutants out of the way. Let's first start with ozone. So ozone as a pollutant. We talked about how the ozone is actually very useful for Earth while it's in the stratosphere because it absorbs the ultraviolet rays. However, while it's in the troposphere, it's actually a pollutant. O3, which is ozone, is an allotrope of O2 oxygen. An allotrope is a different molecular formula of the exact same element. So another allotrope of oxygen or ozone would be like O5, but I don't think there really is such a thing. But you get the idea. Ozone has a very pungent odor and is a secondary pollutant. So it's very, very, very difficult to control. If you ever want to see how much ozone there is in a certain area, you can always go to the EPA website, the Environmental Protection Agency, so you can look at that whenever you desire, which let's be honest, why would anyone look at that unless you're like hardcore about the environment? Sulfur dioxide is actually one of the major pollutants. We already talked about it earlier. Sulfur dioxide is produced when sulfur or sulfur-containing compounds is burned in air, aka, for example, there's some sulfur in gas or sulfur compounds in gasoline, so when your car burns that, the exhaust that comes out would be like sulfur dioxide. Another type where sulfur dioxide exists is in volcanoes, the burning of coal, the burning of oil at oil refineries, another place. Again, why is sulfur dioxide so bad? Well, again, it's distributed in aerosol droplets. That causes a reduce in visibility. That's that red kind of haze, smog, scatters sunlight, and it reacts with oxygen to produce SO3, which is sulfur trioxide, which then reacts with the water and rain to make acid rain. Again, not good. You do not want acid rain because that hurts the environment, specifically it hurts plants. One way factories that emit or produce sulfur dioxide can kind of eliminate it is they have a tube or a flue, if you will. They call it a flue. It's basically a big pipe that pushes out the sulfur dioxide gas, carbon dioxide gas, and water vapor, and it leads into an area that contains molten sodium carbonate. That's the Na2CO3. The sulfur dioxide reacts with the sodium carbonate and it forms sodium sulfite, and that's a little solid stuff, actually turns to a solid. The carbon dioxide and water vapor still is a gas, and those kind of are the bubbles here. Bubbles pop and they go through the stack, and then there's different ways to kind of clean out the water and the CO2 from there. Carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide is often produced when there's incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion. So complete combustion, for those who've ever taken chemistry before, complete combustion is when you react a hydrocarbon with oxygen and you always get CO2, carbon dioxide, and water. This was seen when we did the acetylene on the first day of school, when I put in the calcium carbide in the water and it made acetylene gas. I ignited it and it blew the sock off out of the water, Gatorade bottle. That was a combustion reaction. Well, as we kept doing it and doing it and doing it, it didn't react as much or as well, and that's because it was producing incomplete combustion. It was making more carbon monoxide and more just carbon. So whenever you have incomplete combustion, you make carbon monoxide, which is very, very, very dangerous, actually. And what's interesting is the environment actually produces way more carbon monoxide than humans produce. Now, the reason why carbon monoxide is so bad is, one, it's colorless, has no color, it's odorless. You never even know it's there. And what happens is you inhale this and it adheres to your hemoglobins. It adheres to your blood cells. Your blood cells transport oxygen throughout your entire body. However, carbon monoxide holds on 140 times stronger to your blood vessels, or not blood vessels, your blood cells, than oxygen gas does. So basically the carbon monoxide replaces the oxygen. In essence, your body does not get any oxygen like it should. And here's the crazy thing. If only 0.1% of the air, if only 0.1% of the air is carbon monoxide, in 4 hours, that can cause death. That is insane, that small amount of carbon monoxide. So those are several of the kind of dangerous pollutants created either by nature or human activity.